Hey, Oops Faithful, it's Francis. As many of you may have seen, I got engaged to my lovely fiancée this past Saturday. However, we recorded our episodes for this week prior to that big moment. So, if you'll be patient, the full breakdown of the proposal and engagement will be coming in next week's episodes. Thank you so much for your patience. We will see you soon and appreciate your support. Love you guys. Bye.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Oops the Podcast. We are excited to see each other and to bring to you another hour of our entertainment, insights, humor, advice, whatever you call it.
Dude, an hour of hour. I've never heard that said together, and it was really nice and interesting.
You know what I don't like? I only started doing this in the last 3 years, but I make a concerted effort to pronounce R, as in, are you going to the mall? And our, as in the possessive pronoun, our thing. That's our apartment.
Oh, yeah.
Because they are homonyms by most people's pronunciations.
I'm trying to think how I say it. How do I say it?
It's our podcast.
I think I say our podcast. It's not quite our, but it's not quite our.
So you have three different hours?
I've heard 3 different hours.
You have 3 hours.
I'm sure, yeah, our, not our. All right, sorry.
The point is that for the first 28 years of my life, I pronounced R and R the same.
Interesting. R and R, baby.
It started to bug me. I don't know why. It bugged me out of nowhere. I don't know if anyone ever called me on it or what, but one day I decided to give O-U-R almost 2 syllables.
Hour.
And ever since I've done that, I feel better about how I speak.
It's really almost sounds like 2 syllables the way you say it. Hour.
Well, think of this.
Like it is.
The allotment of time, an hour, is spelled H-O-U-R.
Yes.
And the H is silent.
Right.
So it's spelled exactly the same way as the possessive pronoun.
Pronounced the same exact way in theory.
And it should, therefore, in my opinion, be pronounced the same way.
Right. I love it.
I'm glad we're past that.
Dude, question. Today I posted a thing about the podcast and I called you a manian.
Yes.
Is that correct or not?
So, it's a little known name, but it's one I think that a lot of Mainers... Mainer is really the most understood one. But if in a very select pocket of New England, you might call them maniacs.
Maniacs, I like that.
Yeah.
That's kind of like massholes.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing.
Maniac, and that's usually when you're talking about Mainers who are, up in the north, who go ice fishing, who brave the cold, who are not put off by the 3 p.m. sunsets from November until May and the dark days and the long indoor hours and all of that.
Maniacs. Dude, I really think that geography is like a thing that people just sleep on, dude. And occasionally, I'm serious. Like, and I first noticed this when I was in Alaska and I looked at the map and realized just how north Alaska is. Because when I'm just thinking about it casually, I picture Canada being super north and Alaska kind of being to the side of Canada. But it is in fact above Canada.
Well, this is the problem with printing maps on 2-dimensional, paper or placemats or whatever it is. It's impossible to show, unless you have a proper globe, where everything really is in relation to each other.
Okay, that might be true, but still, if you were to look at Google Maps and zoom it out, you could still very clearly see that the southernmost parts of Alaska are farther north than any Canadian city.
Interesting.
Which is crazy. And so this happened to me again the other day. I'm looking at the map and I'm looking at where Buffalo is. And in my mind, when I've gone to Buffalo, I've just pictured myself driving straight north to the border. I didn't realize that Buffalo is like west. It's like going to fucking Pittsburgh. Dude, I didn't know that.
Oh.
And right? Isn't that crazy? I should know that.
Yeah.
I don't know that. I just found that out.
Well, shout out to our Buffalo listeners who, it is close to Pittsburgh. You can drive from Buffalo to Pittsburgh. It's not that bad.
I've never been to Pittsburgh. Have you?
No, I've never.
I would like to.
I have never.
Shout out Raina.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburghian.
Speaking of sleeping, okay, here's something that came up in life that I wanted to bring to your attention.
Please.
So, my girlfriend has been, she plays tennis in the mornings early and is so into it that she'll wake up at 6 a.m. at least twice a week during the week.
She's got the bug.
Drive into the city and to play tennis with her friend from 6:30 or 7 to 8 before work, and then drive home. And I said to her one night before she was gonna wake up early, I said, "Do you get excited about playing tennis at that early in the morning, or do you feel anxiety about having to wake up knowing you're not gonna?"
Right. Like
She
Santa.
said, "No, I get really excited about it.
And she's able to fall asleep.
No problem." I then thought, I can't remember the last thing that I had to wake up early for that I was excited about. Is there something in your life? And I'm not talking about one-offs.
I was just thinking
you can't. I'm not talking about one-offs like, tomorrow morning, big day. I get to meet somebody, or it's Christmas, or whatever.
Well, no, Christmas isn't a one-off though. But to your point, for Christmas, I crossed a certain age where I'd rather sleep more.
And I'm not even
fast.
I'm not even particularly excited about it anymore.
By the time I was 13, by the time sex was interesting, I was willing to sleep past getting presents right away.
So anything that is early in the morning that you have to wake up early for that you look forward to. Is there anything in your head?
Maybe like a really exciting trip. And I know you would say that's a one-off, but I would say that it's not, because it doesn't really necessarily matter where specifically I'm going. That's the only time I can think of. And even then, dude, that's sort of like I haven't slept enough, dehydrated, dry mouth, like zombie land feeling. I don't love. I hate it.
It's terrible.
So to your point, I might be really excited about a morning activity, but then when the morning comes, I don't want to do it. And sometimes I just don't.
Wow.
Unless I have to be there, I'll be like, fuck it.
Yeah. So what are the things that happen in the morning, right? Well, maybe it's a workout.
Workout is the one that comes to mind.
Ever since college, when we used to have lifting and conditioning 3 days a week in the morning, and then the full day of classes, that ruined the concept of working out in the morning for me.
Yeah.
It just made me dread it because I never went to bed.
How early was it?
I think we would be down, in season and in the off season, it would be 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. to 8:30
for strength and conditioning.
Strength and conditioning. I mean, you're out running, wind sprints, suicides, like puking.
Yeah. But you were doing them outside. You were doing them on the field.
Yeah. Or we'd have lift. I didn't mind lift as much, but it just exhausts you. And not to mention that when you're in college, you go out the night before.
I know.
With knowing you can just bounce back.
I know.
Somehow.
Dude, so we had early practice too, but eventually what ended up happening is they allowed us to pick if we wanted to do morning or afternoon.
Wow.
Which was unbelievable because I lived 3 minutes. I could throw a rock at the building that we practiced in.
That's nice.
And and the strength and conditioning center. And I still could barely get there. I would roll out of bed and just be so, but dude, the thing about that early practice, and this is the thing that I struggle with this, and it's almost impossible being comedians where we need to peak at night and all that stuff. Feeling awake and alert super early in the morning, there's something special about that. And maybe it's only because I've experienced it, a dozen times in my life, literally, that it feels so special. Maybe it's not when that's your routine, but it feels super special. And I wish that I could just have it more.
I agree. I agree with that. In the rare moments where I do wake up at, let's say, 6:45 instead of 8, and I get upstairs and I read my book and make my coffee, that time is so peaceful.
I know.
It's so peaceful. The light coming in through the window,
It's amazing.
the world, waking up.
Dude, it's special.
Yeah.
Dude, that's why traveling west is like such a treat, I find, because like when I go to LA, I'm just suddenly on that time naturally. And it's awesome. Like I'm awake, I'm hiking, like I like very quickly get into that whole healthy early morning lifestyle.
Yeah.
You
Hey,
know?
I got another question for you. I'm going to be throwing a lot at you this episode.
I love it, dude. Throw them.
Because my brain has been changing a lot. I almost feel like I'm a child again. You know when they tell you your brain's changing so fast?
Yeah.
That's
I
why
remember
you
that.
shouldn't drink as a child
Oh,
or
right.
something. Well, I feel like my brain has picked up speed again in terms of its.
You
I
feel
don't
like
know.
you're firing?
Well, I don't even know if it's just the way that I'm thinking keeps changing dramatically. But I think it's improving. I think there's more mindfulness setting in.
So I'm wondering, and that was a hint, but is it more about sort of your take on things? Like, are your opinions changing on things that you felt a certain way about, or is simply the way that you think, or a little bit of both?
I have started to be able to understand from an earlier point what will improve my life. Like what the best way forward is.
I'm loving this, dude.
And whereas, and I'm much better now at choosing that option.
So that was my thought. It's like knowing is one thing, but choosing is the hard part.
Yeah. I really wasn't, I've said this before, but I was not somebody who ever really suffered from FOMO, which was a really nice immunity to have.
But like all kinds of FOMO?
Not
Work
all,
FOMO,
but
social FOMO.
Well, yeah, especially social FOMO, I really don't have. If I see a group of my friends hanging out, having a lot of fun, I do not care.
Same. Yeah.
I really don't care if I'm not there, if I'm not invited.
If anything, I'm happy that they're busy doing things, so they're not upset that I'm not participating.
Yeah, that's right. It's like that was one for them that I, it's good that they were able to do that without me, because that's a nice miss for me. I got a pass.
Right.
From having to deal with that.
Totally. I get work FOMO though.
You do?
I'm not gonna lie. Of course.
I am getting it less and less.
That's great.
I really don't feel now as if I'm not part of something professionally that it somehow means I've taken a step back or that I'm being left out.
Mm-hmm. And so it's funny. I don't even know how much it's like feeling like I'm a step back. It's more like wishing that I was doing it, which I don't necessarily know if they're the same thing.
Well, okay. So this brings me to the point I wanted to
Please.
bring to you.
Yes.
Which is that I have developed a weird technique. I don't know that this will work for anyone other than me. I don't even know if it will have any effect on you. But when I find the beginning pangs of, call it, wanting something for work, wanting something that I could purchase, whether it's a house or a car or anything, something I don't have, that by not having it makes my life seem less full.
Okay.
Right? Like I need that thing. I'm missing that thing in my life. That would add value to my life.
Mm-hmm.
I have started to say what I would say out loud in my head. The words, don't crave. And when I say that, I really nip it in the butt.
Wow.
And it's not gone for good. These things will come back. But doing that exercise was what, more than even deleting the Zillow app, has made me think, stop. I don't need a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom with a pool place right now.
Yeah, dude, you definitely suffer from the like your inner circle, the inner circle comparison. You know what I mean? That's a tough thing, because it's like people are always like, especially when I was growing up, if somebody was rich, nobody would even entertain the idea that there was anything wrong with their life. They go, oh, they're rich. You know what I mean? But then, you get older, whatever, you maybe meet some rich people And you realize that those rich people only know rich people.
Yeah.
So he sort of like resets the baseline for who has what. And now you're just comparing yourself to 10 people. And if 8 of them have more shit than you, if you don't have your thoughts in line, you're going to feel bad about yourself.
Can I tell you a weird thing, dude?
Yeah.
I am now at a point where, because I've gotten more clarity on this, because I've become nosier. I would say that of the 10, let's call it the 8 closest social friends that I have, there are not more than 2 of them who are making less than $1 million a year.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of money.
I would say 80% of my
$1 million a year
of my closest social friends.
Wow.
70 to 80% of my closest social friends make over $1 million, make 7 figures.
That's crazy. That's a crazy amount to earn.
$1 million,
like as a job.
after tax, whatever, 600, 650, is an amount of money where even after rent, even with an exorbitant rent,
You're chilling.
you are able to make terrible decisions financially and not worry about it at all.
Mm-hmm.
You're able to put 50 grand a year in Bitcoin. You're able to go out to dinner twice a week and not bat an eye.
And
You're
also,
able to
let's clarify there. Let's assume that these dinners that they're going out to are extremely expensive. It's not like going
at least $100 a head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad an eyelash.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. But anyway, yeah.
But
dude.
I don't crave that. And I used to have to tell myself, well, I'm living my dream. And that was the trade-off I made.
So but you know what, dude? There really is something to be said for that. It's like dude, there is. And
Yes,
listen,
I agree.
Hear me out. You still have a very sick apartment. You have a very, your setup is still very good. Granted, maybe not as good as, 80% of your friends, whatever. Fine. But, that's all fine. But one thing that they don't have that you do have is this you have such a cool career. And I know you're going to say what's cool is making $1 million. I agree with you. But dude, there is like a sort of balancing out of the power balance because of this thing that you possess that no one else does.
Yes, but all
That is
of
real.
these things, all of this does not bother me as much anymore.
That's great.
And what I mean by that is I used to have to almost chant to myself, you're following your passion. You're following your passion. They're not as happy as you. Their jobs are not as rewarding. There's rewards in what you're doing. You're being creative. You're being artistic.
It's true.
People admire what you do. Like blah blah blah. Whatever. I used to say these things as if there was somehow a non-tangible, non-monetary kickback in what we do.
Mm-hmm.
But I know I never necessarily was super convinced of that. Sometimes I was, sometimes I wasn't. Now, none of that matters. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not feeling rich by performing, creating. That doesn't make me feel rich, nor do my rich friends make me feel jealous or less than.
Mm-hmm.
All of it is about, can you just be happy with what you have?
Mm-hmm. That's true. And it's an easy thing to say. So we'll see. I hope that you're able to maintain this sort of oasis of perfect
tranquility.
thinking.
There's a little more tranquility going on right now. And part of it is that I can look back at times in my life when I had a lot less than I do now and remember being happy at that point.
Yeah.
So I know that I'm capable of happiness with less. Which means that why would I be less happy now? Why would I ever be less happy now?
Yeah. No, totally. I mean, these are all easy things to say. And listen, I think it's normal to have those thoughts of wishing you had this or that. But, to what degree do those thoughts are they the dominant thought? You know what I mean? Like everybody's going to have that thought. I wish I was this. I wish I was that. I wish I had, there's something that everybody would want to change.
Okay.
And that's natural, but it's like, how debilitating is the thought?
Okay.
How much are you thinking?
But apply it away from money and work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because I've been around people, who I don't know. As I said to you, for whatever reason, I've lately found myself around weirdly outdated, toxically masculine thinking.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And people being like, well, you know, a second divorce, the second wife really don't ever get, you know, talking about like boobs and stuff.
Dude, that's crazy that you just said that. Can I?
Guys are talking about boobs again.
May I add to this?
Yeah, please.
Dude, I met up with a friend the other day and we're sitting, dude, this blew my mind. We're sitting there having a coffee and some guy walks around the corner who he knew and he's like, oh, are we going to do this or this later? Apparently they had plans later in the day. And he goes, yeah, so-and-so is going to be there. He goes, the tits on her. I was like, are we still doing that?
That is my point, right?
Do you not know your audience, dude?
I'm not gonna be a saint here and condemn. I'm not that guy. I'm not the referee. But it just is not something that I ever hear anymore. Nobody I know speaks that way.
Dude, it's crazy I'm gonna go out there on a limb and say that that's a crazy thing to be saying to people you don't know.
That's right. That's right.
You don't know me, dude. I don't think you're cool because you talked about tits.
Exactly.
Her tits.
Body.
You know someone with tits,
talking
dude?
About like.
You know tits?
Yeah, right.
Oh,
right.
Man, I love tits, dude.
It's you know,
fucking
we
animals.
act like you've been to tits before.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Like we've all seen nice tits. You just grow beyond the point of commenting. You know, I don't even know how much it festers in my brain. Like,
dude, it's fucked up. Like they're going to go meet this person later and she's being talked about like that. Like I don't know, man. Like it, you know, if you and I privately, very close friends, were admiring someone's body, we might have a chuckle about it. You know what I mean? It's just in like mixed company, meaning people that aren't known. I know I'm beating this point.
No. I think that's spot on.
If I was
it's jarring.
if I was like, dude, she's so hot, that wouldn't be crazy. I'm not like a loser. Like I can talk about people being hot. You know what I mean, it would be crazy to say you don't call people hot.
I guess it's just, we're at this point now where, to hear that, to hear the stuff
jarring.
that, you know, the locker room talk that became such a hot button issue. And you don't, it really, at least in my circle or I don't know, everywhere it felt like went underground. It went underground for a while. And occasionally it'll peep its head out of nowhere. Like you said, from it's only people I don't know.
Right.
And when they say it, that's when I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, you're like, dude.
I'm not gonna rat. I'm not gonna say, hey, you shouldn't be saying that, you know? And by the way,
of course, yeah.
That's what Billy Bush, Michael Costa made this point to me. He's like, Billy Bush has not worked since that moment.
Oh, that's crazy. Since Trump.
Since he got his interview subject to say something insane, which is typically what interviewers are supposed to do.
Yes. You got to be on your toes.
And he sort of like giggled along, you know, didn't agree, wasn't like, yeah, I love grabbing women by the pee, by the poo-anani.
Yeah, right. I forget how it went. So wait, he didn't really respond to that?
No. He didn't say, he didn't slap him on the wrist and say, stop that. And that's why everyone took an issue with it.
You're
and
right.
he got fired. And granted, I think he got a pretty big settlement, but he has not worked.
What do you think he's been doing? Just smoking a bunch of weed? Fucking chilling?
I don't even know. The other one, you know, the guy that hosted The Bachelor, also same situation, similar situation, right? Went on a podcast, said that thing he said.
What'd he say? I don't know about this.
I think it was like there was a contestant on The Bachelor who spoke out. She said something about, I want to say like trans rights or something. And then he, the host of The Bachelor, went on a podcast and they asked him about it. And he said something like, yeah, I'm just not sure that this is the forum to be talking about those things. And he got fired.
Oh, wow.
But he won an enormous settlement too.
Interesting.
And I get it, whatever. I don't have any comment on any of that stuff. But back to the locker room talk, we it stopped. It slowed to a trickle, if not a drop.
And dude, I would say that we are in sort of like a world that is sort of with the times. And it's interesting to see as our friends and peers get older to see which people are sort of like still functioning in the former time.
I know.
You know?
I agree with that.
It's an interesting thing.
I agree with that. So back another step is this application of the do not crave thought.
Yes.
You know, I don't desire other women. I think once upon a time, back in the day when I used to be in other relationships, I would want to hook up with other people, but I wouldn't because I'd be like, oh, I know that's wrong. I'm not contractually, I'm not allowed to. I'm bound, right? But it didn't make me want. I wish I could see her naked or you know, fool around with this person, whatever. Like I was attracted to other people, but you just try to keep it under wraps.
Right.
Now, I feel like the most beautiful woman could walk, and it's I'm not going to say that it's because I've like brainwashed myself, or I'm not going to say something particularly noble like, you know, I only have eyes for one woman. It's just I don't care anymore. I don't crave. Do not crave.
Or you're just a fucking Buddhist now, dude. Francis the Buddhist. Isn't this what Buddhism is about?
Yeah, but again, Buddhism to me is more noble. I can't take that much credit for this.
Is it? I don't know that it is. I feel like the point of it is that it's like not. Right?
I'm not sure.
But this is some Buddhism. I mean, dude, we'll see. All right, you're sounding good today. We'll see in 3 weeks how you're sounding.
Okay.
I'm just saying to give you to you know.
Yeah, if I sound holier than thou, I apologize. I'm not trying to be.
I'm happy you're feeling good.
But this is how I promise you, if I'm walking down the sidewalk and I saw some beautiful, you know, young lady wearing a revealing outfit, my thought process would be probably like, there's nothing that would happen there that would improve my life, even if I were somehow miraculously single. The grass, to me, has stopped being greener.
Wow, that's really great, dude.
But it's in terms of my relationship. It's in terms of my job. You gotta just find a way to take happiness and you gotta be content, dude. Because a lot of people aren't content, and some people are right to not be content. My question to you would be, do you fear or feel that by feeling content, it might lead to
lack of motivation?
Am I going to fight less hard now because somehow I've found balance?
Do I fear that? Not really, because to be honest, like I feel like the things that I want aren't unhealthy things to want. You know what I mean? Like,
no, but you do want.
I do want,
and I think you want in a healthy way. I'm not saying all wanting is unhealthy.
So you mean just by feeling content?
Yeah. If you were to diagnose me, would you say, dude, you gotta restart that fire?
Like in this current moment?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, I would say typically my diagnosis for you would be what you're saying right now.
Be happy
all
with what
the things you've said in the past 20 minutes are what I would say to you. So it sounds like you're on the right track. And
okay.
So okay. I get what you're saying. Like, if I am to be completely content, will that take away the fire of whatever? And to be honest, I try not to think that many steps down the road. There's always going to be some new challenge. There's going to be some new things are going to change. I don't know how I'm going to think when I am content, if I am content, when I reach my goals or don't. I just don't know what that's going to be like, you know?
Sure. You once said not too long ago that you wished you were a little more, I don't even know how you put it, that you didn't just like go along to get along sometimes.
Oh, that was more of a killer?
Yeah, that's right.
I think I said something like
Yeah,
that.
we were talking about the Marty Fish thing.
Yeah, I do sort of feel that way. But I also feel like my self-assessment of myself, I don't know if I said this, I feel like I eventually get it done, but it just like takes a while. Like the way that I sort of like, I don't go for the throat right away, dude. I'm like the Komodo dragon. You know what the Komodo dragon does? They'll like bite a giant water buffalo that's too big for them to kill. And then they follow it around for 3 weeks until it's too weak. And then they kill it.
Damn.
I know, crazy. So like that is more of my approach if we're using the killing metaphor. And if I look back on my past endeavors, I would say that I typically end up following through with that kind of stuff. But I just wish I did it in a more efficient way.
Picturing you and some casting agent following an audition. She goes to shake your hand and you grab her hand and you bite it. She's like, "What the fuck?" And you're like, "Oh, sorry, I misread." But then you just follow her for 3 weeks as she gets progressively iller and iller.
It was metaphorical.
Like, this bite mark on my hand, this crazy actor we had in to read for like a small part, but
that's hilarious.
All right.
So dude, you've reached this level of sort of like serenity and clear thinking.
It could be fleeting. You know me too
Dude,
well.
dude,
I don't know. We'll see how I feel in 3 weeks.
It would be weird if you felt like this forever. Okay? Nobody feels like this forever. If you can feel like this more than you don't, I think you're fucking winning. You know what I mean?
Have
you been smoking weed?
At night.
Mm-hmm. And you feel like you have a healthy relationship with it? That doesn't like throw your moods off or not?
Not really. It's a sleeping pill for me.
Okay.
That's sort of what it is.
Fair.
I don't know. I try to keep that in check.
Well, dude, if for those of you out there who feel like you don't have a good relationship with your weed, we're working with a cool company called Dad Grass.
Oh yeah, that's right. My weed's out of control.
Yeah, and so dude, this is sort of the
too
point.
Much. I've brought it way back. Too much.
The weed itself, or just in general.
I'm back in doing it too much, and it is really powerful, and I'm getting too high, and my girl doesn't like it.
Dude, which is funny why the first, like, as far as this company goes, the first line of this description is, "Have you ever just been too damn high?"
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Francis has
every
been
night.
Comatose Francis.
Yeah.
We've all been there, and with today's weed, sometimes it's a dangerous game. That's why maybe you should check out Dad Grass.
Dad Grass.
It's like turning into your parents might be your worst nightmare, but let's be real. Their weed might have been the stuff of dreams. Dad Grass has old school joints that are low in THC and high in CBD, so you can chill out and lighten up the old-fashioned way.
Now we're talking.
Love it. All Dad Grass products are federally legal for ages 21 and over, and it ships right to your door anywhere in the U.S. So right now, if you want to try out some Dad Grass CBD products, you can go to dadgrass.com/oops and get 20% off an order of Dad Grass.
That's a big discount.
It's pretty good.
That's a hefty discount.
Dadgrass.com/oops, 20% off of your first order. Dadgrass.com.
I would load up that first order if I were you guys.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's only the first one.
That's a good
you're
idea.
going to like it. You might as well load up
That's
Dad
true.
Grass.
Dude, I want to talk about something funny.
Okay.
We had dinner with Chris on Friday.
Oh, that's right. We did.
And
this is funny.
This is pretty funny.
This is funny.
So
This is just so okay, keep going. Sorry.
Anyway, Chris had kind of been like, "You guys want to have dinner?" And we're like, "Yeah, dude." Like he's all settled in his new spot.
I wanted them to come see my apartment. I mean, they helped me pay for it. I thought, let's have dinner.
We didn't help you. We didn't help you pay for shit, dude.
You earned.
You earned.
Okay.
Your ability to pay for that place.
Because you're a fucking go-getter.
Yeah.
And a real winner. A killer.
Yeah, this guy's got the fire.
Chris has got it.
Yeah, he doesn't need the Dad Grass.
Chris is a killer. Okay, so before you weigh in, I want to walk you through. So this is pretty funny. So Chris, we had to kind of reschedule the dinner a couple times, and Chris kept sort of like bringing it up. He's like, "Let's do this dinner."
Yeah.
Which is fine, dude. There's nothing weird about that. It's completely fine. But at some point, Francis and I get it in our head.
No.
Dude, yes.
No.
Dude, no. That is absolutely not the case.
This was you.
Okay, hear me out.
And you then brought me around.
Hear me out and then see if we still recount this differently. So the way that I recall it is that either one of us sort of brought up, we're like, dude, do you think Chris is going to like quit? And we're like, what's going on with this dinner? Like, does Chris have something to tell us? Dude, maybe you don't recall it this way.
I know it was you.
I'm going to look back in our fucking text.
We should look back. We should check the record. Because I recall you saying to me, I'm nervous about this dinner.
More recently, I didn't say I'm nervous. More recently, I was the one who said it. And when I did say it, Francis then said, dude, you know what? I feel like Chris is just psyched about his new apartment. We're going to have a fun dinner, something along those lines. And I was like, you're okay, right? Because I was also like, Chris is like a really respectful guy. Like if he was going to tell us that he was quitting, he would probably do it in like the rightest way. And that would be a way he would do it. He'd be like, let's go to dinner.
I found this and you're so fucked.
When is it from?
September 7th, Tuesday.
Okay, dude,
ready?
no,
Hold on.
That doesn't, because I said the most recent time we talked about it, I was the one who said that. I agree.
But listen to me. Tuesday, September 7th, 4:48 p.m. Dude, I'm a little stressed out about this dinner with Chris, laughing emoji. I'm worried he's going to tell us he's quitting or something. I'm sure it's just me being paranoid. And then I respond, you ready for this? Oh, Lord, I hadn't thought of that at all.
Dude, I'm going to find it.
But I guess that would make sense. And then he said, it's like it's him trying to do it in the most respectful possible way or something. And I said, let's just keep postponing it. So that you couldn't quit. We didn't want you to quit. That was me telling a joke.
But dude, okay, so Chris, I hope you realize that this entire conversation is in jest, because if we had discussed it at a previous time, and I think at the end we sort of dismissed the idea. But you're right, I can't find anything else. So for now, we'll assume that Francis is right about this, even though I recounted differently.
Yeah.
So anyway, Francis shows up to dinner an hour late.
Well, oh my God. Yeah, this wasn't my fault. And I really mean that. I had timed my arrival to be within 5 minutes. I was doing Karen Feehan's Only Feehan's podcast with Jared Schwartz, which is all the way in the Battery Park City, which is a bit of a hike from Greenpoint, which is where Chris lives. But I had checked and seen that to go from her apartment to Chris's was a 23-minute Uber. And that was like around the time that I was planning to leave. And so we left her apartment at 5:30. Jared said that he would give me a ride because, like, all good. His car was in the parking garage below her apartment as part of her building. He gave his ticket to the parking attendant. The guy disappeared into the bowels of this parking garage and was gone for 35 minutes.
Crazy. It's like a sprawling building, dude. This is like a big complex.
And there was a line of people trying to get their cars. And the cars were coming out once every 20 minutes. That's how long these guys were taking to find the cars.
It's crazy.
So I ended up being an hour late somehow.
So you're okay. I mean,
all right, sorry.
I would say that, you could have potentially planned for some rush hour traffic.
It wasn't the traffic.
Theoretically.
Once we got in the car,
you were fine.
We got there in the same amount of time that I
took an Uber, right?
No.
He ended up driving you?
When his car still hadn't come 5 minutes later, he goes, dude, I no longer have time to take you.
Right.
I have to get home to Staten Island. I'm producing this show. And I was like, oh shit. Then I called an Uber. It was 12 minutes away. That Uber got to 2 minutes away and then stopped for 5 minutes. I called him and I said, are you coming? And he goes, yeah, I'm on my way. Hang tight. Which usually means that they've stopped for food, which has happened to me
That's
before.
Happened to you?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I wait another 5 minutes. He doesn't get any closer. I cancel the Uber, at which point Jared comes up and he's like, yo, I canceled my show. If you still want, I can take you. Hilarious. And I said, I'll just pay you what I was going to pay the Uber.
That's crazy.
So then by this point,
I didn't know that part.
Yeah, so he took me.
Okay. Anyway, that's not important. So I'm sitting with Chris.
I'm glad I spent 5 minutes on it.
I was chilling. Chris and I were chilling, having drinks, having a good time. And Francis shows up. I swear to God, like a bat out of hell. He sits down. Before he says a word, he goes, Chris, do you have anything that you need to tell us?
Figured we might as well.
This is hilarious because Francis acting like he never, ever once even jokingly considered that we talked about Chris potentially quitting at this dinner
No.
is insane to
I
me.
agree. I agree that I at some point I
we
started
jokingly-
to come around.
So
That
we never-
maybe
yeah.
I think you planted this seed, and then
I feel like you planted the seed in my head. I feel like I initially didn't think that, and you told me. That's how I remember it. I have no
We
proof
just-
of that.
we just
I understand.
proved.
But this dinner's been in the works for a while, as we know, and I remember it. But whatever, I can't prove it for now. Francis gets the W here. Anyway, Francis shows up and says that, and then he immediately is just like, "Sorry, dude." Looks at me and he goes, "Julio thinks you're quitting." I was like, "Dude, are you serious?" Completely throws me under the bus.
Was that a little bus throwing?
It was fun. It's funny and fine and like, but yes, it was. There was bus throwing that occurred,
Okay,
but it wasn't a serious matter, so it's fine.
right.
But it was pretty funny.
This was on Thursday. We're talking about the. We came back to it, and we talked about something else, and I said, but as for Chris, somehow I think he just wants us to come see his place because he's proud of it. But I could be dead wrong. And then you said, no, I think you're right. And we kind of agreed on that. But then I think I kept joking with you. And maybe at some point I was like, all right, well, should we bring him a goodbye present or something? I didn't even know what I said. But I'm neurotic too. And the seed you planted took time to gestate in my brain. There was a long gestation period such that by the time you had been talked off the ledge and we're feeling better about it, by that point we had swapped.
Swap bros. Okay, last thing, and I want to hear what Chris has to say. And all the reason why we're so concerned is we like Chris.
We did not want Chris to quit.
We like Chris, but we understand that Chris is a dynamic young individual with a big career ahead of him. And at some point, Chris could outgrow the podcast, and that's fine.
Mhm.
That's okay. But we were just hoping it wasn't Friday. We were hoping we had a little more time with
a
our
little more
boy.
time. A little more time. We need more time.
Chris, with our son, Chris,
Yeah, that's
who
right.
I birthed.
Yes, well, he's now like our a cousin. Cousin Chris.
All right, Chris. So what do you got, dude?
Yeah, it was just like a lot. So Francis runs in. He's like, "Oh my God, you never believe what happened." And then he's like got his bag down. He immediately sits down and he goes, "All right, so do you have something to tell us?"
Yeah, it was a lot. But here's the reason that I did that. The reason that I did that was that I realized you guys had been waiting. If you were planning to quit, you would have waited until I got there to tell us both.
Yeah.
And I was an hour late. So I felt bad for if there was this bomb to drop that you were sitting on this lit fuse.
That has happened to me before. It's not fun. I walked in my manager's office, told them I'm leaving, and then I had to wait for the other guy to get back. So I was just sitting in the office for an hour.
Marinating.
Dude,
in
terrible.
that.
So yeah, of course.
And I also felt like if it were something that you were planning to tell us, I'd rather either dispel that thought, like to prove that it was wrong as early as possible, so then we could just enjoy the dinner and have that elephant
Right.
murdered out of the room.
Yes.
Or you could tell us, we could make our peace with it and then, celebrate the evening anyway. So that was sort of my thought process of just bringing it to the fore instantly.
So I'm not quitting. This was all for nothing. Yeah.
Oh, look at us.
Good. We got
Look at
Chris
us.
for a while. For a little
What a
while longer.
relief.
What a relief.
I guess it'd be a bad time to tell you guys never mind.
You son of a gun. You son of a gun.
Chris, now at this point though, if you do quit, you better bring us to fucking dinner. Because we now have
Now I can't go to dinner
we
again.
have
What
a
the fuck?
plan for how you'll quit, and you better honor that plan.
Dude, I don't know if I'm late to the party on this, so I don't necessarily know if I want to call this a show recommendation, but I just watched White Lotus in one sitting and loved it. You watched it?
Oh, it's fantastic.
You liked it?
I really liked it.
It made me get into scripted television again. So if you have any other series you're really liking, please let me know.
The mini series is the new sweet spot.
It really is.
The 6 episode,
The golden
one
era.
season, no thought of it going on beyond that.
Totally.
And you know why? Because A-list actors are willing to sign on for a limited series like that.
It makes sense.
Whereas they're not as likely to want to do a scripted series that
goes
might
15
run on
seasons.
to perpetuity.
That makes sense.
Like you see Nicole Kidman do all these limited series.
Dude, I was
now.
just going to say, I started watching that one, which I'm also enjoying.
With Hugh Grant?
No. Oh, that one was great too. The Undoing.
Yes.
Yeah, we covered that one on some earlier episodes, but I'm talking about the 9 Perfect
Strangers. We're watching that.
I'm watching that right now.
pretty-
How far are you into it?
5 episodes.
Yeah, it's starting to get. It's a little slow, but I feel like it's
pretty
gonna pick
good.
up.
It's not my favorite.
Not as good as White Lotus.
No.
But anyway, yeah. So I'm really enjoying that. But dude, one thing that it made me think of is the amount of break-ins that occur in this series. Without trying to spoil too much.
In White Lotus.
Yes.
Yeah.
It made me think about how I would value having a home security system.
This is an ad.
Yes.
Oh my God. That's the longest setup we've ever had to get into a read.
No, but it was a legitimate thing that I wanted to bring up. So it was a nice fusion. Let's call it branded content. Well, anyway, Simply Safe has some updates that I wanted to fill everybody in on. So there's big news from our favorite home security company. Simply Safe has just launched their new wireless outdoor security camera.
Mm-hmm.
That is correct. Simply Safe, the system that U.S. News and World Report names the best home security system of 2021. This security camera is supposed to be one of the best ones out there. Has an ultra-wide 140-degree field of view. You can keep watch over your entire yard. Has 1080p HD resolution, 8x zoom. It's a lot of zoom. All the zoom. There's also a built-in spotlight with night color vision. All the stuff that you need to, surveil your premises and feel safe when you're at home, so you don't have to worry about any intruders. So if you want to learn more about this exciting new Simply Safe wireless outdoor security camera, visit simplysafe.com/oops. And Simply Safe is celebrating the new camera by offering 20% off of your entire new system and your first month of monitoring service for free when you enroll in interactive monitoring. That's simplysafe.com/oops, and you can get in on the discount. Well, anyway, we had such a nice time at dinner that we had said that we hope to do more of them in the future.
It was really
Well, now
great.
they'll be anxiety-inducing. So
No,
I don't know.
not anymore. So anyway, we went to a great spot. Chris picked it, had some great drinks, went back to Chris's place. We played some video games. Chris fucking tooled on us.
So fun.
Chris worked us in Mario Kart. I somehow pulled out a victory in Super Smash Brothers
Yeah,
at the
it's
end of the
because
night.
I was drunk. I counted. I had like 9 drinks at that point. So
Oh, come on, dude. 20 minutes earlier, you still took me out. I just got the win, dude.
Yeah, well, G and I split the J ski, and you kept your hands nice and clean of that.
yeah, I was going out later. I can't talk to people.
So
on the
get
pods,
this.
man.
So get this. We're at Chris's apartment. I'm like, yo, is that an Xbox? He's like, yeah, that's not plugged in, but we've got the Switch. So we fire. I'm like, yo, let's fire up some video games. We
Yeah.
got the White Claws flying around. We're feeling good. Wish we had some Cheetos. But we're
We just got back from dinner. Francis ate the whole menu.
I'm just plugging. I'm talking the
Oh.
drink.
No, not
Cheeto.
Cheetos, the food. Cheeto.
Yeah. Our beloved spark seltzer,
sorry.
sparkling seltzer that we like so much. Shout out Cheeto. No, all good. And Chris is currently, if you don't mind me sharing, Chris is like taking some time away from weed, right? So I see that this weed paraphernalia, and I'm like, yo, is that weed? Like, and
Yeah.
Chris is like, yeah, I can roll you a joint or whatever. So we smoke a joint outside, G and I, and then we come back upstairs and we sit down, we play video games. It was the best Friday I've
It
had
was really fun.
in a long time. And all I wanted was to just stay there for multiple hours and keep playing video games with my friends.
It was fun.
But Chris is now a social butterfly who had plans to hit the town. And I started to feel like, man, are we holding this guy back?
If anything, Julio had a spot to go to,
Yeah,
so
that's
Julio
true.
had to leave anyway.
So both of you guys had
So I
plans.
Both have
planned
plans.
something else because I assumed we would all just leave then. So I'm
Yeah.
sorry. If I had known this, we could have played
No.
all night.
Bro,
I was the
You're
barnacle.
fine, dude. Francis is being
Next
a
time,
barnacle
next
here.
time.
I was the barnacle.
Well, dude, I'll tell you what. I proceeded to have a fucking wild night after that, dude. So some nights when the stars align, man, and I'm fucking take a couple tokes and it just hits me right in the right way, and I have the perfect amount of drinks, dude, I just become the man, dude. Dude, it's crazy how funny of a night I had. Okay, so I go to my show, dude. I go up and I do 15 minutes of basically brand new shit and just crush the whole time.
Amazing.
Amazing. At a show that I'm very comfortable at, so I don't feel bad doing that. So I go up, I do that. It's awesome. I get off stage, another person goes on. There isn't another comic. I go, dude, you want me to go back up? I go back up and do another 15. Dude, I was just on fire.
Never heard of that.
I know, dude. I had never heard of that either.
Yeah.
And it wasn't me just being drunk. I listened back to the recordings and they're good. Like I wasn't just thinking I was good because I was fucked up.
Interesting.
So, okay.
But this is a dangerous, slippery slope because
Yes.
you might think, oh, that's my swing juice.
Right.
I need to lubricate now to enable the creative thought process. It doesn't work that way.
Of course not. And I know that. I've been around too long to know, and I know better.
Mm-hmm.
But we had probably 3 cocktails at dinner. I had a couple more White Claws with you and Chris. I go to this show. At this show, our buddy Danny Palmer loves buying everybody White Claws. So I had probably 3 more White Claws. Then I go to meet Hillary's extended family, who I had never met.
Her parents were there or no?
No, it was her, one of her aunts who I had met once because she had come to my show in DC. And so I had some rapport with her, her uncle and aunt, her cousin and 2 of her cousins, and then her sister who I know already. But dude, so I show up on fire and their dinner had just ended. I say hi to everybody and
Really quick.
yeah.
Can they tell that you're the man? Or did you have to let them know?
No. I dialed it back.
Oh, you did?
But I'm the man, meaning like I'm the perfect amount of confident. I don't sound fucked up, and I can sort of adjust to my surroundings.
Got it.
So I show
That
up
is
to
the
meet
man,
them,
yeah.
and I'm being completely fine. The man slip up
Oh.
is I'm like, all right, let's everybody take a picture. So I think it was their idea. So they get in there, like her aunt makes this like cool face, like everybody's like having a good time. I take the picture, great. And then like, we want you in it. We want you in it. So without even thinking, I just turn around and I go to selfie. And as I'm taking the selfie, I go, bitch. And I don't think any of them heard me, but Hillary comes up to me and she goes, bitch, are you serious? And I was like, they didn't hear me. She's like, are you serious? And like, she wasn't actually mad. Her sister thought it was hilarious. I think it was completely fine. But I mean, then we went out for a little more.
Well, sometimes the man flies too close to the sun.
The man can fly too close to the sun.
Yes.
Bitch.
Also, what a power move of you. Were you kind of in the foreground of this selfie and then they were just in
I'll
the
show you.
back?
Yes, I'll show you the picture, dude.
So that is not a group pic.
Chris,
You know
I'll
what I
send you
mean?
this pic if you want to.
That's just
it in there.
Julio 80% of the photo,
No, dude, you'll see.
extended family 20%.
Here's the pic, dude.
Okay, you're close enough. Yeah. Yeah, do you understand what I meant?
You meant like,
If
oh,
you had been 20 feet away from them and they were like, get in the picture with us, and you were like, okay, and you just turn around with
and it's just them faintly in the back.
with them just like gathered around like minions in the background.
Right. Yeah, that
Yeah.
one. So yeah, the picture worked, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then we, went out and drank a bit more and had a great night, dude.
How late were you out?
Probably till like 2 or 3.
Wow.
And dude, anytime I show up and I've been drinking, like people can't tell, but Hillary, obviously my partner, can tell.
Yep.
And she calls me, like when I've just shaven and I show up fucked up, she calls me the drunk youth, which is now has become the youth. So I show up and she goes, I show up and she goes, are you the youth? And I was like, yeah. She goes, honey, like it's not a problem, but anytime she has to address the fact that I'm fucked up when I am. And it's actually been a thing I've talked about to her. I'm like, you always do this to me and I don't do it to you. And she's like, you're right, but like I don't mean anything bad by it. I'm like, I know, but it makes me feel like self-conscious. Like I'm rocking. You know what I mean? I don't need.
We all feel self-conscious when someone points out that we are noticeably fucked up somehow.
Right.
If it's weed or alcohol. I especially get it with weed. Because if my girlfriend ever asks me, are you high when I'm high?
Right.
Instantly
It throws you off, right?
This cavalcade of thoughts storms the beaches of my psyche saying, she disapproves, you've smoked too much, this is a habit that she's trying to break you of with these small suggestions that perhaps you should, although she would never go so far as to tell you full out, don't smoke so much weed, because she's a nice person, but secretly she really believes that you should.
Right. And you just don't want to have to go there.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, I get it.
I can't stop those crabs from coming onto the beach.
The old crabs on the beach.
Well, maybe the man has to come hang out more, and so we make him the man again.
I'll
The
tell you
man
what,
needs to be the man.
where Chris lives, Greenpoint, I'd never been up there.
So dope.
That place
What a great
is
neighborhood.
a beacon.
It's really
It's
great.
a city on a hill, as Mather used to say. The guy who founded the Massachusetts Bay Colony.
Oh, really?
What was his name?
I don't know.
Something Mather.
I'm not sure.
And he used to say they called it a city on a hill, right? So it was the new hub of Protestantism.
Mm-hmm.
Because, well, I'm not going to get into the history, but I'm fairly sure that's mostly correct.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Dude, it's a really great neighborhood. And I was telling Chris, I used to go to community acupuncture there, it's awesome. Like you get acupuncture on a sliding scale. The needles tend to be a little girthy. The Chinese needles are a little thicker than the Japanese needles, from what I've heard. The Japanese ones don't really hurt. The Chinese ones are a little beefy.
Oh.
And it hurts.
Don't love those beef needles.
But you pay however much you can afford and you share the room with somebody. Wow. And if you're a single guy, I mean, you can meet girls. Like there's really attractive people who get acupuncture. So it tends to just be a group of awesome looking people hanging out, depressurizing together. So I was telling Chris to go check it out. Love a little community acupuncture.
If I were in that situation and I were trying to pick up girls, I would throw so many puns at them. It would just be a punder storm.
What would you say?
I'd be like, I don't mean to be a prick, but
oh my God, dude, that's hilarious.
Couldn't help but notice your something about a pork. I don't know. I'd have to think it through. I would definitely throw a lot at them though.
Dude, it's a really good neighborhood though. It's really
Greenpoint.
It's really dope.
Sick.
So we're happy for Chris. It's a good time. But dude, I mean, being the man. So that next day, I had to go to this brunch, and again, after you have a night like that, it sort of reminds me of like, when you'd have just like an awesome sexual encounter, and the next day you just have all this energy, even though you haven't slept. Like you're just so excited about how cool your night was.
Yeah.
So like it's the same kind of thing as that when you went hard sometimes, because the next day you feel good still, you're rocking and rolling. I show up to this brunch, and again, the people who are hosting the brunch are super late to it. So by the time I'm sitting at this brunch for like 2.5 hours, I'm like, dude, I gotta go home. And I had made plans to drink Aperol spritzes with Ricky. And I know it's an insane afternoon activity. I buy the bottle of Aperol and I get back to my apartment. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I just hope that like he cancels.
That moment of quiet.
And then I fell asleep.
Where you're in your apartment and you're in between sessions.
Yes.
Is all of a sudden your body just says, ding, ding,
yeah,
we're tired. Yeah.
So I fall asleep. I wake up and look at my phone. I'm like, oh fuck, like expecting to have all these missed calls of like Ricky just waiting at my door. And instead it's just one text from Ricky that says, yo, my bad, dude, fell asleep.
Oh, what a gift.
I was like, that's my fucking boy right there, dude. What a gift. That's my boy. We fall asleep at the same time without even telling each other.
Yeah. Dude. With a bottle of Aperol in your hand.
A bottle of Aperol just sitting on my chest, dude. That I then later drank the next day. But dude, I fucking spritzes, baby. It's not too late. We got a little more Aperol spritz left in the summer.
To me, it's past peak.
When does summer officially end?
As soon as you put on your first pair of boots.
It might be soon, dude. Isn't it like
end of September? September 28th or something?
Is it literally today?
Wow.
All right. Well,
so good.
Anywho
ski?
I think that's a good spot to wrap her up. What do you think?
Are we done there?
Yeah, cool. Well, we have some fun stuff on the horizon. We have a live show coming up. It's going to be in New York. We're going to announce it officially when it's locked in, but it's happening. And we're super psyched about it, so we hope that you guys can make it.
Hell yeah. New York City. It's be our first one, our inaugural show.
It's going to be pretty cool. You got any, Francis, you have some stuff coming up, right?
I do, but I want to let people really enjoy the fact that we are doing our show.
Okay.
And let that live.
Very exciting.
Let that breathe.
So yeah, enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's going to be awesome. So that is all. Oops, the podcast. We love you. Follow us at Oops, the podcast. Continue sending us your emails. We have a lot of really funny ones that we enjoyed reading that we are going to read on the next episode. Keep sending them. Check out our YouTube, all that shit. We love you. Goodbye.